Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and it is time to take a look at our favorite PvP spec of Rogue, the Subtlety Rogue. It's gotten through quite a few changes of patch 9.1, with a couple key talents removed, which got some rogues before even this patch released a little shaky, starting to transition from Subtlety to Assassination. And I've gotten to play a little bit of Subtlety so far in patch 9.1, and I wanted to kind of go over just how good is it, what are some of the changes, and what's it like to play it, and has it really gotten nerfed changing from previous patch to this one? Let's first take a look at some of my favorite honor talents that I liked with this 9.1 change, which really do feel refreshing. Thief's Bargain has gotten updated. CDs of Shadowblades, Vanish, and Faint are reduced by 33%, but using any of these abilities reduces the damage you do by 10% for 6 seconds, which in my opinion is a small price to pay for a much bigger CD reduction, which can offer you so many possibilities. Escaping with a Vanish at a 1.3 minute CD instead of a 2-minute CD is so much easier. Shadowblades and being able to use it more often in Battleground so far has felt fantastic. And no-brainer being able to use Feint more often as a defensive also feels great. Smoke Bomb has gotten updated, now it's a 2-minute cooldown, so we already love Smoke Bombs as rogues. It's awesome to lock down a healer inside of a Smoke Bomb or a target by themselves with the flag in a Battleground, so being able to use Smoke Bomb more often is just even better. Dismantle has also been added to Subtlety rogues, and it loved it on Outlaw Rogue, but I feel like Subtlety wears this CC utility even better as the master of crowd control. Thick as Thieves has also been added, where tricks will grant your friendly target 15% more damage. Huge fan of that group gameplay that it offers. And finally, Distracting Mirage is a new honor talent, where Distract will slow the target by 30%, creating a mirage that will chase him around. Reactivate and Distract within 8 seconds will teleport you to where the mirage is. It's a very interesting ability that has very much a ninja theme, which is what something Blizzard has been setting up little by little for Subtlety Rogue. It's definitely a unique ability, so I can't hate it for it. It's kind of difficult to set it up because to distract an enemy, they have to be outside of combat, but in BGs and arenas, it's going to be really difficult. But I can't say I hate it, it's definitely a very unique toolkit that only Subtlety has. Now for some of the nerfs, we have Cold Blood completely taken out of the game, and Dagger in the Dark saw a 50% nerf. And one of the biggest ones is actually the 100% crit legendary, only lasts 1.4 seconds within PvP. So that's probably the biggest nerf of all the Subtlety nerfs that we could see. However, with all the beatings that Subtlety has taken, to please a rogue player, it doesn't really take much. First of all, we gotta check, can Subtlety Rogue do burst? Can it go for big damage from an opener? And yes, it can. It still retains that capability, even if you might not end up running the 100% crit legendary, since that doesn't guarantee you your full opener is 100% crit. You still do significant damage, especially if you are a pretty geared rogue. Next, can the rogue still go for CC chains? I feel like bread and butter for Subtlety in particular is always crowd control. Being able to chain CC from blinds to saps, cheap shots, kidney shots, back to back, just controlling the battlefield. Can you still do that? And yes, of course, that didn't get nerfed at all. In fact, we've even gotten more tools in the honor talent tree to be able to CC more often. I'm a firm believer that for most rogues, all you need is crazy crowd control. You don't even need amazing damage, like in 3v3 situation, for example. Just being able to, by yourself, take one enemy team member out of the game for, I don't know, 20 seconds or so with just crowd control back-to-back CC chains is insanely strong in PvP. The damage is usually just a nicety on the side, but let's also talk about the damage. Does it do good damage? Yes, it actually does fantastic damage. In my opinion, if you were to have someone who, let's say, played the Shadowlands expansion in 9.0 and maybe left and is coming back for patch 9.1, let them play Subtlety, don't tell them what got buffed, what got nerfed, and they won't really notice the difference. The spec still hits pretty hard. It's fantastic with the damage that it puts out. Now, can Subtlety Rogue do some really cheesy damage? I feel like the spec has been known for some crazy one-shots or being able to get an opener that 100% drops somebody from 100% to 0 in a single setup. If they're lacking a trinket, you have yourself a guarantee. I think Subtlety definitely still has potential. I am playing event tier Subtlety Rogue, so that burst synergy with flagellation ability is just insanely good together. So your results may vary depending which covenant you're in, but I've heard that Kyrian sub-rogue might be insanely good once they get their new covenant legendary, so we'll see how that turns out. But yes, Subtlety can definitely do some decent numbers. You will need to have really good gear, a lot of versatility, pretty high item level in order to be able to do it. But yes, it definitely can do some really silly damage. It's not exactly as silly as 9.0 patch, where you literally needed one global, one shadow strike to one-shot somebody. It's not quite silly there, but whoever runs into you, especially if you're a geared rogue that knows what they're doing, you definitely can make them still feel very helpless as you're chain CCing them and bursting them down, and there's very little they can do about it to escape. But we are talking about before Season 2 begins, so gear is probably going to change how classes play a little bit. Most likely classes will have even more versatility, which means holding off the onslaught of a sub-rogue burst might be a little bit easier. And it's also worth mentioning that for me, for Subtlety Rogue, I haven't really done too much subtlety in arenas of the expansion of Shadowlands, but the RBG scene is packed with sub-rogues. And I guess the question is sub-rogue still going to be pretty nutty for RBGs? Yes, I think it's still going to be a credible threat. I don't think a Subtlety Rogue will be able to walk up to a Vengeance Demon Hunter and one-shot them, or be able to one-shot a Bear Druid while in bear form, but the damage you put up right now, together with the crowd control you are able to exude currently, you are, I think, in a fantastic spot. Especially with the ability of Tricks of Trade, you might even be able to have even stronger roaming groups together as a sub-rogue. With a Boomkin, for example, you hit him with that Tricks of Trade, the Press Convoke. That Convoke does 15% more damage just for press and tricks. It's gonna be pretty deadly combo. Maybe it's a little early to say this, but if you're one of those rogues who was really worried about how well Subtlety is going to perform in patch 9.1, with some of the nerfs they're getting, with Cold Blood getting removed, the Dagger in the Dark getting nerfed, the 100% crit legendary also getting clipped, you might be moving on to assassination rogues in the future. And if that's a playstyle you enjoy, I hear assassination is performing quite well. I do need to give it a try myself. But if you're someone who is worried about abandoning sub-rogues and being forced to play assassination, I would hold off for a bit. Maybe it's me calling it a little early and we have to wait until the seasonal stuff starts, but I think Subtlety is doing just fine right now in patch 9.1. This spec feels great to play, it has an awesome rotation, it has a great amount of control at any moment that you wish. The damage I feel like is still there, and the tools that you're given I think are going to shake up the meta a little bit. Subtlety, in fact, is going to come in with some different tools that it never had before. If you ever had trouble with melee, just hit him with the disarm, since that is now an auto talent. Another rogue trying to resap your healer out of a blind, hit him with the disarm, you can actually prevent that sap. Having trouble staying alive, well, a short vanish cooldown will allow you to escape a really bad situation more often. And I would imagine rogue mage is going to be even stronger, with the fact that your mage can just do 15% more damage every time you hit him with tricks on like a 30-second cooldown. I think Subtlety Rogue is actually going to be fine. I feel like some of the one-shotty, really disgusting bursts is getting cleaned up out of the game, but the spec I think still feels fantastic to play, and I think it's going to do well in 9.1, at least in my early testing that I've been able to do so far. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much for checking out this video. You let me know your thoughts about sub-rogues in patch 9.1. I'm looking to make a video on Outlaw as well as Assassination. I don't really know which one I'm going to work on first, but I've got some footage already and I'm excited to share it with you as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.